abate, abate.
和らげる、減少させる。
abate.
The storm finally began to abate after hours of relentless rain.
数時間にわたる激しい雨の後、嵐はようやく収まり始めた。
The storm finally began to abate after hours of relentless rain.
Abdicate, abdicate.
放棄する、退位する。
abdicate.
The king decided to abdicate the throne in favor of his son.
王は息子に王位を譲るために退位を決断した。
The king decided to abdicate the throne in favor of his son.
Abduct, abduct.
誘拐する、連れ去る。
abduct.
The child was abducted from the playground.
その子供は遊び場から誘拐された。
The child was abducted from the playground.
Aberrant, aberrant.
異常な、逸脱した。
aberrant.
His aberrant behavior worried his teachers.
彼の異常な行動は教師たちを心配させた。
His aberrant behavior worried his teachers.
Aberration, aberration.
異常、逸脱。
aberration.
His angry outburst was an aberration from his usual calm demeanor.
彼の怒りの爆発は普段の穏やかさからの逸脱だった。
His angry outburst was an aberration from his usual calm demeanor.
Abet, abet.
悪事を助ける、教唆する。
abet.
He was arrested for abetting the criminal.
彼は犯罪者を手助けしたとして逮捕された。
He was arrested for abetting the criminal.
Abhor, abhor.
ひどく嫌う、忌み嫌う。
abhor.
He abhors cruelty in any form.
彼はあらゆる残虐行為を忌み嫌っている。
He abhors cruelty in any form.
Abide, abide.
遵守する、従う、耐える。
abide.
You must abide by the rules at all times.
あなたは常に規則を守らなければならない。
You must abide by the rules at all times.
Abject, abject.
惨めな、絶望的な。
abject.
They lived in abject poverty for years.
彼らは長年、極度の貧困に苦しんだ。
They lived in abject poverty for years.
Ablaze, ablaze.
炎上して、輝いて。
ablaze.
The building was ablaze with lights and music.
その建物は光と音楽で輝いていた。
The building was ablaze with lights and music.
Abominable, abominable.
忌まわしい、ひどく不快な。
abominable.
The conditions in the prison were abominable.
その刑務所の環境は忌まわしいものだった。
The conditions in the prison were abominable.
Abomination, abomination.
忌まわしいもの、嫌悪の対象。
abomination.
The practice was considered an abomination by traditionalists.
その慣習は伝統主義者には忌まわしいものとされた。
The practice was considered an abomination by traditionalists.
Abound, abound.
豊富にある、溢れる。
abound.
Opportunities abound for those who are prepared.
準備されたものには機会が溢れている。
Opportunities abound for those who are prepared.
Above board, above board.
公明正大な、率直な。
above board.
All the transactions were conducted in an above board manner.
すべての取引は公明正大に行われた。
All the transactions were conducted in an above board manner.
Abrasion, abrasion.
摩擦、擦過傷。
abrasion.
He suffered an abrasion on his elbow after falling.
転倒して肘に擦過傷を負った。
He suffered an abrasion on his elbow after falling.
Abridge. Abridge.
要約する、短縮する。
Abridge.
The novel was abridged for a younger audience.
その小説は若い読者向けに要約された。
The novel was abridged for a younger audience.
Abscond. Abscond.
逃亡する。
Abscond.
The suspect absconded before the police could arrest him.
容疑者は警察が来る前に逃亡した。
The suspect absconded before the police could arrest him.
Absolve. Absolve.
免責する、解放する。
Absolve.
The court absolved him of all responsibility.
裁判所はすべての責任を免除した。
The court absolved him of all responsibility.
Abstain. Abstain.
控える、慎む。
Abstain.
She decided to abstain from alcohol during her pregnancy.
彼女は妊娠中はアルコールを控えると決めた。
She decided to abstain from alcohol during her pregnancy.
Abstinence. Abstinence.
禁欲、節制。
Abstinence.
Abstinence from smoking can significantly improve health.
禁煙は健康を大幅に改善する可能性がある。
Abstinence from smoking can significantly improve health.
Absurdity. Absurdity.
不条理、バカバカしさ。
Absurdity.
The absurdity of the situation made everyone laugh.
その状況のバカバカしさにみんなが笑った。
The absurdity of the situation made everyone laugh.
Abysmal. Abysmal.
ひどく悪い、最悪の。
Abysmal.
His performance on the test was abysmal.
彼の試験の成績は最悪だった。
His performance on the test was abysmal.
Exceed. Exceed.
応じる、同意する。
Accede.
The Prime Minister acceded to the demands of the protesters.
首相は抗議者の要求に応じた。
The Prime Minister acceded to the demands of the protesters.
Accentuate. Accentuate.
強調する、際立たせる。
Accentuate.
Her red scarf accentuated her outfit beautifully.
彼女の赤いスカーフが装いを美しく引き立てた。
Her red scarf accentuated her outfit beautifully.
Acclimate. Acclimate.
順応する、慣れる。
Acclimate.
It took weeks to acclimate to the high altitude.
高地に慣れるまで数週間かかった。
It took weeks to acclimate to the high altitude.
Accolade. Accolade.
栄誉、称賛。
Accolade.
The scientist received the highest accolade for her research.
その科学者は研究により最高の栄誉を受けた。
The scientist received the highest accolade for her research.
Accomplice. Accomplice.
共犯者、加担者。
Accomplice.
The thief and his accomplice were arrested.
泥棒とその共犯者が逮捕された。
The thief and his accomplice were arrested.
Accost. Accost.
特にぶしつけに声をかける、話しかける。
Accost.
A reporter accosted the celebrity for an interview.
記者が有名人にインタビュー目的で話しかけた。
A reporter accosted the celebrity for an interview.
Accredit. Accredit.
認可する、正式に認める。
Accredit.
The university is accredited by the government.
その大学は政府により認可されている。
The university is accredited by the government.
acquiesce, acquiesce.
黙認する、同意する。
acquiesce.
He acquiesced to the manager's decision.
彼は上司の決定に黙って従った。
He acquiesced to the manager's decision.
Acquisition, acquisition.
習得、取得。
Acquisition.
The acquisition of new skills is vital for career growth.
新しいスキルの習得はキャリアの成長に不可欠だ。
The acquisition of new skills is vital for career growth.
Acquit, acquit.
無罪にする、免責する。
Acquit.
The jury acquitted the defendant of all charges.
陪審団は被告人をすべての罪状で無罪とした。
The jury acquitted the defendant of all charges.
Acquittal, acquittal.
無罪判決。
Acquittal.
The acquittal was met with mixed public reactions.
その無罪判決には様々な世論の反応があった。
The acquittal was met with mixed public reactions.
Acrid, acrid.
刺激性のある、ツンとした。
Acrid.
The acrid smoke made it difficult to breathe.
その刺激的な煙のせいで呼吸が困難になった。
The acrid smoke made it difficult to breathe.
Acrimonious, acrimonious.
辛辣な、激しい。
Acrimonious.
They had an acrimonious debate over policy.
彼らは政策について激しい議論を交わした。
They had an acrimonious debate over policy.
Acrimony, acrimony.
敵意、辛辣さ。
Acrimony.
The divorce ended in acrimony and bitterness.
その離婚は敵意と苦味に満ちた結末を迎えた。
The divorce ended in acrimony and bitterness.
Act out, act out.
感情や内面を行動で示す、演じる。
Act out.
The students acted out the scene from the play.
生徒たちはその劇の一場面を演じた。
The students acted out the scene from the play.
Act up, act up.
機械、体調などが調子が悪くなる、人が問題行動をとる。
Act up.
My phone has been acting up all day.
今日は一日中、携帯の調子が悪かった。
My phone has been acting up all day.
Acuity, acuity.
鋭敏さ、明敏さ。
Acuity.
Visual acuity tends to decline with age.
視覚の鋭敏さは年齢とともに低下する傾向がある。
Visual acuity tends to decline with age.
Adamant, adamant.
断固とした、頑固な。
Adamant.
He remained adamant in his refusal.
彼は拒否の姿勢を頑として崩さなかった。
He remained adamant in his refusal.
Adept, adept.
熟達した、巧みな。
Adept.
She is adept at solving complex problems.
彼女は複雑な問題の解決に熟達している。
She is adept at solving complex problems.
Adherent, adherent.
支持者、信奉者。
Adherent.
He is a strong adherent of minimalism.
彼はミニマリズムの支持者である。
He is a strong adherent of minimalism.
Adjacent, adjacent.
隣接した、近くの。
Adjacent.
The hotel is adjacent to the station.
そのホテルは駅に隣接している。
The hotel is adjacent to the station.
Adjoin, adjoin.
隣接する。
Adjoin.
The new building will adjoin the library.
新しい建物は図書館に隣接する予定だ。
The new building will adjoin the library.
Adjunct. Adjunct.
補助的存在。
Adjunct.
The adjunct professor taught part-time.
非常勤教授がパートで教えた。
The adjunct professor taught part-time.
Admonish. Admonish.
忠告する、叱る。
Admonish.
The teacher admonished the student.
先生は生徒を注意した。
The teacher admonished the student.
Adorn. Adorn.
飾る、美しく装う。
Adorn.
The walls were adorned with paintings and tapestries.
壁には絵画とタペストリーが飾られていた。
The walls were adorned with paintings and tapestries.
Adroit. Adroit.
巧みな、機敏な。
Adroit.
He was adroit at handling difficult negotiations.
彼は難しい交渉を巧みに扱った。
He was adroit at handling difficult negotiations.
Adulate. Adulate.
お世辞を言う、へつらう。
Adulate.
Some fans tend to adulate celebrities excessively.
一部のファンは有名人に過剰にへつらう傾向がある。
Some fans tend to adulate celebrities excessively.
Adversary. Adversary.
敵対者。
Adversary.
He faced a strong adversary in the final match.
彼は決勝戦で強力な敵に立ち向かった。
He faced a strong adversary in the final match.
Adverse. Adverse.
不利な、敵対的な、反対の。
Adverse.
The project faced adverse weather conditions.
そのプロジェクトは悪天候に見舞われた。
The project faced adverse weather conditions.
Advocate. Advocate.
支援者、提唱する人、提唱する。
Advocate.
He advocated for better working conditions.
彼は労働環境の改善を提唱した。
He advocated for better working conditions.
Affable. Affable.
愛想の良い、親しみやすい。
Affable.
The manager was known for being affable with his staff.
そのマネージャーは部下に親しみやすいことで知られていた。
The manager was known for being affable with his staff.
Affinity. Affinity.
親近感、類似性。
Affinity.
She felt an immediate affinity with the artist.
彼女はその芸術家にすぐに親近感を抱いた。
She felt an immediate affinity with the artist.
Affix. Affix.
添付する、貼る。
Affix.
Please affix a stamp to the envelope.
封筒に切手を貼ってください。
Please affix a stamp to the envelope.
Afflict. Afflict.
苦しめる。
Afflict.
He was afflicted with a rare disease.
彼は珍しい病気に苦しめられていた。
He was afflicted with a rare disease.
Affluent. Affluent.
裕福な。
Affluent.
They moved to an affluent neighborhood.
彼らは裕福な地域へ引っ越した。
They moved to an affluent neighborhood.
Affront. Affront.
侮辱、無礼。
Affront.
His rude comment was an affront to her dignity.
彼の無礼な発言は彼女の尊厳に対する侮辱だった。
His rude comment was an affront to her dignity.
Aficionado. Aficionado.
愛好家、熱狂的ファン。
Aficionado.
He's an aficionado of jazz music.
彼はジャズ音楽の熱狂的なファンだ。
He's an aficionado of jazz music.
Aghast. Aghast.
仰天して、愕然として。
aghast.
She was aghast at the news.
彼女はそのニュースに仰天した。
She was aghast at the news.
Agility. Agility.
敏捷性、機敏さ。
Agility.
His agility helped him excel in gymnastics.
彼の敏捷性が体操競技での活躍に役立った。
His agility helped him excel in gymnastics.
Agonize. Agonize.
苦しむ、苦悩する。
Agonize.
He would agonize over every decision.
彼はどの決断にも悩みに悩んだ。
He would agonize over every decision.
Ail. Ail.
悩ませる、苦しめる。
Ail.
What ails the company is a lack of innovation.
その会社を苦しめているのは革新性の欠如である。
What ails the company is a lack of innovation.
Alacrity. Alacrity.
敏速さ、乗り気。
Alacrity.
She accepted the invitation with alacrity.
彼女はその招待を快く引き受けた。
She accepted the invitation with alacrity.
Alienate. Alienate.
阻害する。
Alienate.
His rude comments alienated many of his friends.
彼の無礼な発言は多くの友人を遠ざけた。
His rude comments alienated many of his friends.
Align. Align.
整列させる、一致させる。
Align.
The company aligned its goals with the new policy.
会社は新しい方針に目標を合わせた。
The company aligned its goals with the new policy.
Allay. Allay.
和らげる、鎮める。
Allay.
The government tried to allay public fears.
政府は国民の不安を和らげようとした。
The government tried to allay public fears.
Allege. Allege.
主張する、申し立てる。
Allege.
The suspect is alleged to have committed the crime.
容疑者はその犯罪を犯したと主張されている。
The suspect is alleged to have committed the crime.
Allegiance. Allegiance.
忠誠忠義。
Allegiance.
The soldier swore allegiance to the nation.
その兵士は国に忠誠を誓った。
The soldier swore allegiance to the nation.
Allegory. Allegory.
寓話、寓意。
Allegory.
The novel is an allegory of social injustice.
その小説は社会的不正を寓話的に書いている。
The novel is an allegory of social injustice.
Alleviate. Alleviate.
緩和する、軽減する。
Alleviate.
The new policy aims to alleviate poverty.
新しい政策は貧困を軽減することを目的としている。
The new policy aims to alleviate poverty.
Allocate. Allocate.
割り当てる、配分する。
Allocate.
The government allocated funds for disaster relief.
政府は災害救援のために資金を割り当てた。
The government allocated funds for disaster relief.
Allot. Allot.
割り当てる。
Allot.
Each student was allotted 5 minutes for their presentation.
各学生には発表時間として5分が割り当てられた。
Each student was allotted 5 minutes for their presentation.
Allude. Allude.
ほのめかす、暗に言及する。
Allude.
He alluded to his past without going into detail.
彼は詳細には触れず、自身の過去にほのめかした。
He alluded to his past without going into detail.
Allure. Allure.
魅了する、魅力。
allure,
The allure of the mysterious island attracted many explorers.
その神秘的な島の魅力は多くの探検家を引きつけた。
the allure of the mysterious island attracted many explorers.
Aloof. Aloof.
よそよそしい、距離を置く。
Aloof,
He remained aloof during the meeting.
彼は会議中ずっと距離を置いていた。
he remained aloof during the meeting.
Altercation. Altercation.
激しい口論、争い。
Altercation,
There was a brief altercation between the driver and a pedestrian.
運転手と歩行者の間で短い口論があった。
there was a brief altercation between the driver and a pedestrian.
Altruistic. Altruistic.
利他的な。
Altruistic,
Her altruistic actions inspired the whole team.
彼女の利他的な行動はチーム全体に感動を与えた。
her altruistic actions inspired the whole team.
Amass. Amass.
蓄積する、集める。
Amass,
He amassed a fortune through investments.
彼は投資によって財産を築いた。
he amassed a fortune through investments.
Ambient. Ambient.
周囲の、環境の。
Ambient,
The ambient temperature was around 22 degrees Celsius.
周囲の温度は約22度だった。
the ambient temperature was around 22 degrees Celsius.
Ambiguous. Ambiguous.
曖昧な、両義的な。
Ambiguous,
The instructions were too ambiguous to follow.
その説明は曖昧すぎて従うのが難しかった。
the instructions were too ambiguous to follow.
Ambivalent. Ambivalent.
相反する感情を持つ。
Ambivalent,
She felt ambivalent about moving to a new city.
新しい都市に引っ越すことに対して複雑な気持ちだった。
she felt ambivalent about moving to a new city.
Amble. Amble.
ゆっくり歩く、ぶらぶら歩く。
Amble,
We ambled along the riverside enjoying the sunset.
私たちは夕日を楽しみながら川沿いをぶらぶら歩いた。
we ambled along the riverside enjoying the sunset.
Ambush. Ambush.
待ち伏せする。
Ambush,
The soldiers were caught in an ambush.
兵士たちは待ち伏せにあった。
the soldiers were caught in an ambush.
Amenable. Amenable.
従順な、従いやすい。
Amenable,
She was amenable to the suggestion.
彼女はその提案に素直に応じた。
she was amenable to the suggestion.
Amiability. Amiability.
愛想の良さ、親しみやすさ。
Amiability,
Her amiability made her very popular among her peers.
彼女の愛想の良さは仲間内で非常に評判が良かった。
her amiability made her very popular among her peers.
Amiable. Amiable.
愛想の良い、親しみやすい。
Amiable,
He is an amiable host who makes everyone feel welcome.
彼は誰にでも親しみやすく接する愛想の良いホストだ。
he is an amiable host who makes everyone feel welcome.
Amplify. Amplify.
増幅する、強める。
Amplify,
The speaker amplified the sound of his voice.
スピーカーが彼の声を増幅した。
the speaker amplified the sound of his voice.
Amputate. Amputate.
外科的に切断する。
Amputate,
The doctor had to amputate his leg due to the infection.
感染のため、 医師は彼の足を切断しなければならなかった。
The doctor had to amputate his leg due to the infection.
Amputation. Amputation.
切断。
Amputation.
The soldier survived after an arm amputation.
兵士は腕の切断後に生き延びた。
The soldier survived after an arm amputation.
Analogous. Analogous.
類似した、相似の。
Analogous.
The structure is analogous to a pyramid.
その構造はピラミッドに類似している。
The structure is analogous to a pyramid.
Anecdotal. Anecdotal.
逸話的な、実証性に欠ける。
Anecdotal.
The evidence is mostly anecdotal.
証拠はほとんど逸話的なものに過ぎない。
The evidence is mostly anecdotal.
Anecdote. Anecdote.
逸話、面白い、小話。
Anecdote.
He told a funny anecdote about his childhood.
彼は子供の頃の面白い逸話を語った。
He told a funny anecdote about his childhood.
Anesthetic. Anesthetic.
麻酔薬、麻酔の。
Anesthetic.
The dentist applied a local anesthetic before the procedure.
歯科医は処置の前に局所麻酔薬を使った。
The dentist applied a local anesthetic before the procedure.
Annex. Annex.
併合する、別館。
Annex.
The country annexed the territory after the war.
その国は戦後にその地域を併合した。
The country annexed the territory after the war.
Annexation. Annexation.
併合、併存。
Annexation.
The annexation of Crimea was controversial.
クリミアの併合は物議を醸した。
The annexation of Crimea was controversial.
Annotation. Annotation.
注釈、注記。
Annotation.
His annotations helped clarify the meaning of the text.
彼の注釈がその文章の意味を明確にした。
His annotations helped clarify the meaning of the text.
Annulment. Annulment.
無効化、取り消し、破棄。
Annulment.
She filed for an annulment after 1 month.
彼女は1ヶ月後に婚姻取り消しを申請した。
She filed for an annulment after 1 month.
Anoint. Anoint.
精油を塗る、任命する。
Anoint.
The king was anointed during the coronation ceremony.
国王は戴冠式で精油を注がれた。
The king was anointed during the coronation ceremony.
Anomaly. Anomaly.
異常、逸脱、例外。
Anomaly.
Scientists studied the gravitational anomaly in the region.
科学者たちはその地域の重力異常を研究した。
Scientists studied the gravitational anomaly in the region.
Answer back. Answer back.
口答えする、反論する。
Answer back.
The student answered back when the teacher scolded him.
先生に叱られたとき、その生徒は口答えした。
The student answered back when the teacher scolded him.
Antagonistic. Antagonistic.
敵対的な、反発する。
Antagonistic.
Their relationship became increasingly antagonistic.
彼らの関係は次第に敵対的になった。
Their relationship became increasingly antagonistic.
Antagonize. Antagonize.
敵に回す、反感を買う。
Antagonize.
His arrogance antagonized everyone at the meeting.
彼の傲慢さは会議の全員の反感を買った。
His arrogance antagonized everyone at the meeting.
Antecedent. Antecedent.
前例、先行詞。
Antecedent.
In the sentence, the antecedent of he is John.
この文では、he の先行詞は、ジョンである。
In the sentence, the antecedent of he is John.
Antiquate. Antiquate.
古くする、時代遅れにする。
Antiquate.
The rapid pace of technology antiquates older systems quickly.
技術の進歩は古いシステムをすぐに時代遅れにしてしまう。
The rapid pace of technology antiquates older systems quickly.
Antiseptic. Antiseptic.
消毒薬、殺菌剤、無菌的な。
Antiseptic.
The nurse applied antiseptic to the wound.
看護師は傷口に消毒薬を塗った。
The nurse applied antiseptic to the wound.
Antithesis. Antithesis.
対象、対立。
Antithesis.
His actions were the antithesis of his words.
彼の行動は彼の言葉と正反対だった。
His actions were the antithesis of his words.
Apathetic. Apathetic.
無関心な。
Apathetic.
Many students were apathetic about voting.
多くの学生が投票に無関心だった。
Many students were apathetic about voting.
Apathy. Apathy.
無関心、無感動。
Apathy.
His apathy toward the issue was concerning.
その問題への彼の無関心さが懸念された。
His apathy toward the issue was concerning.
Apolitical. Apolitical.
政治に無関心な、政治的に中立な。
Apolitical.
She prefers to remain apolitical in workplace discussions.
彼女は職場で政治的中立を保つことを好む。
She prefers to remain apolitical in workplace discussions.
Appall. Appall.
ゾッとさせる。
Appall.
The cruelty of the act appalled everyone.
その行為の残酷さにみんながゾッとした。
The cruelty of the act appalled everyone.
Appalling. Appalling.
恐ろしい、ひどい。
Appalling.
The living conditions were absolutely appalling.
その生活環境は全くもってひどかった。
The living conditions were absolutely appalling.
Apparition. Apparition.
幽霊、幻影。
Apparition.
The villagers claimed they saw an apparition near the forest.
村人たちは森の近くで幽霊を見たと主張した。
The villagers claimed they saw an apparition near the forest.
Appease. Appease.
なだめる、譲歩する。
Appease.
The prime minister tried to appease the protesters.
首相は抗議者をなだめようとした。
The prime minister tried to appease the protesters.
Append. Append.
付け加える。
Append.
Please append the summary to the end of the report.
報告書の末尾に要約を付け加えてください。
Please append the summary to the end of the report.
Appraise. Appraise.
評価する、鑑定する。
Appraise.
She was hired to appraise the value of antique furniture.
彼女はアンティーク家具の価値を鑑定するために雇われた。
She was hired to appraise the value of antique furniture.
Apprehend. Apprehend.
逮捕する、理解する。
Apprehend.
The suspect was apprehended by the police.
容疑者は警察に逮捕された。
The suspect was apprehended by the police.
Appropriate. Appropriate.
占有する、着服する、盗む。
Appropriate.
The company was accused of appropriating funds illegally.
その会社は違法に資金を着服したとして告発された。
The company was accused of appropriating funds illegally.
Arable. Arable.
耕作に適した。
Arable.
The region has a large area of arable land.
その地域には広大な耕作可能な土地がある。
The region has a large area of arable land.
Arbitrary. Arbitrary.
恣意的な、独断的な。
Arbitrary.
The punishment seemed arbitrary and unfair.
その処罰は恣意的で不公平に見えた。
The punishment seemed arbitrary and unfair.
Arcane. Arcane.
難解な、秘密の。
Arcane.
The manuscript contained arcane symbols.
その写本には難解な記号が含まれていた。
The manuscript contained arcane symbols.
Archaic. Archaic.
古風な、古語の。
Archaic.
That term is considered archaic in modern usage.
その後は現代では古風とみなされる。
That term is considered archaic in modern usage.
Ardent. Ardent.
熱心な、情熱的な。
Ardent.
He is an ardent supporter of human rights.
彼は人権の熱心な支持者である。
He is an ardent supporter of human rights.
Arduous. Arduous.
骨の折れる、困難な。
Arduous.
Climbing the mountain was an arduous task.
その山を登るのは骨の折れる仕事だった。
Climbing the mountain was an arduous task.
Arguable. Arguable.
議論の余地がある。
Arguable.
It is arguable whether the new policy will succeed.
その新政策が成功するかどうかは議論の余地がある。
It is arguable whether the new policy will succeed.
Aridity. Aridity.
乾燥状態、無味乾燥。
Aridity.
The aridity of the landscape was striking.
その風景の乾燥ぶりは際立っていた。
The aridity of the landscape was striking.
Array. Array.
配列、整列。
Array.
An impressive array of dishes was served.
見事に並べられた料理が提供された。
An impressive array of dishes was served.
Arrogance. Arrogance.
傲慢、尊大。
Arrogance.
He was disliked for his arrogance.
彼は傲慢な態度のせいで嫌われた。
He was disliked for his arrogance.
Arson. Arson.
放火。
Arson.
The fire was determined to be an act of arson.
その火事は放火によるものと判明した。
The fire was determined to be an act of arson.
Articulate. Articulate.
はっきり話す。
Articulate.
She is able to articulate her thoughts clearly.
彼女は自分の考えをはっきりと表現できる。
She is able to articulate her thoughts clearly.
Artillery. Artillery.
大砲、砲兵隊。
Artillery.
The artillery was deployed on the front lines.
砲兵隊が前線に配置された。
The artillery was deployed on the front lines.
Ascribe. Ascribe.
何々のせいにする、帰する。
Ascribe.
He ascribed her success to hard work and determination.
彼は彼女の成功を努力と決意の結果だとした。
He ascribed her success to hard work and determination.
Aspiration. Aspiration.
熱望、志。
Aspiration.
Her aspiration to become a doctor inspired her studies.
医師になりたいという彼女の志が勉強の原動力となった。
Her aspiration to become a doctor inspired her studies.
Aspire. Aspire.
熱望する、志す。
Aspire.
Many students aspire to careers in medicine.
多くの学生が医療の道を志している。
Many students aspire to careers in medicine.
Assail. Assail.
激しく非難する、襲撃する。
Assail.
The senator was assailed by critics after his remarks.
その上院議員は発言の後に批判者たちから激しく非難された。
The senator was assailed by critics after his remarks.
Assailable. Assailable.
攻撃可能な、非難し得る。
Assailable.
The argument was logically weak and thus assailable.
その主張は論理的に弱く、非難の余地があった。
The argument was logically weak and thus assailable.
Assiduous. Assiduous.
勤勉な、根気強い。
Assiduous.
He is an assiduous student who never misses a class.
彼は決して授業を欠席しない勤勉な学生だ。
He is an assiduous student who never misses a class.
Assuage. Assuage.
和らげる、なだめる。
Assuage.
He tried to assuage her fears about the operation.
彼は手術に対する彼女の不安を和らげようとした。
He tried to assuage her fears about the operation.
Astound. Astound.
驚かす。
Astound.
The news astounded everyone in the office.
そのニュースはオフィス中の人々を驚かせた。
The news astounded everyone in the office.
Astronomical. Astronomical.
天文学の膨大な。
Astronomical.
The cost of the project was astronomical.
そのプロジェクトの費用は天文学的に莫大だった。
The cost of the project was astronomical.
Astute. Astute.
抜け目のない、鋭い。
Astute.
She made an astute analysis of the situation.
彼女はその状況を鋭く分析した。
She made an astute analysis of the situation.
Asylum. Asylum.
避難所、亡命、精神病院。
Asylum.
He sought asylum in a neighboring country.
彼は隣国に亡命を求めた。
He sought asylum in a neighboring country.
Atone. Atone.
償う、埋め合わせをする。
Atone.
He tried to atone for his past mistakes.
彼は過去の過ちを償おうとした。
He tried to atone for his past mistakes.
Atrocious. Atrocious.
残虐な、ひどい。
Atrocious.
The conditions in the prison were atrocious.
その刑務所の環境はひどいものだった。
The conditions in the prison were atrocious.
Atrophy. Atrophy.
萎縮、衰退、萎縮する。
Atrophy.
His muscles began to atrophy due to inactivity.
活動不足により彼の筋肉は萎縮し始めた。
His muscles began to atrophy due to inactivity.
Attire. Attire.
服装、装い。
Attire.
He wore formal attire to the ceremony.
彼は式典にフォーマルな服装で出席した。
He wore formal attire to the ceremony.
Attrition. Attrition.
消耗、離職。
Attrition.
The company is suffering from employee attrition.
その会社は従業員の離職に悩まされている。
The company is suffering from employee attrition.
audacious, audacious,
大胆な、無謀な。
audacious.
The plan was audacious but ultimately successful.
その計画は大胆だったが、最終的には成功した。
The plan was audacious but ultimately successful.
Audacity, audacity,
大胆さ、厚かましさ。
audacity.
she had the audacity to challenge the judge.
彼女は裁判官に異議を唱える大胆さを持っていた。
She had the audacity to challenge the judge.
Augment, augment,
増加させる、強化する。
augment.
he took a side job to augment his income.
収入を増やすために副業を始めた。
He took a side job to augment his income.
Augmentation, augmentation,
増強、拡張。
augmentation.
the software update included memory augmentation.
ソフトの更新にはメモリ拡張が含まれていた。
The software update included memory augmentation.
Auspicious, auspicious,
縁起の良い、幸先の良い。
auspicious.
the wedding date was considered auspicious.
結婚式の日取りは縁起が良いとされた。
The wedding date was considered auspicious.
Austere, austere,
厳格な、質素な。
austere.
he lived an austere life in the mountains.
彼は山奥で質素な生活を送っていた。
He lived an austere life in the mountains.
Austerity, austerity,
緊縮、質素。
austerity.
the government implemented austerity measures.
政府は緊縮政策を実施した。
The government implemented austerity measures.
Autocrat, autocrat,
独裁者。
Autocrat.
the ruler was an autocrat who allowed no dissent.
その支配者は異議を許さない独裁者だった。
The ruler was an autocrat who allowed no dissent.
Autonomous, autonomous,
自律的な、自主的な。
Autonomous.
the region is seeking to become autonomous.
その地域は自治を求めている。
The region is seeking to become autonomous.
Auxiliary, auxiliary,
補助の、補助者。
Auxiliary.
the auxiliary engine started automatically.
補助エンジンが自動で作動した。
The auxiliary engine started automatically.
Avail, avail,
役に立つ、利益。
Avail.
all efforts were of no avail.
すべての努力は無駄だった。
All efforts were of no avail.
Avalanche, avalanche,
雪崩、大量。
Avalanche.
the avalanche buried the entire village.
雪崩が村全体を埋め尽くした。
The avalanche buried the entire village.
Avaricious, avaricious,
強欲な。
Avaricious.
the avaricious landlord raised the rent again.
強欲な大家はまた家賃を上げた。
The avaricious landlord raised the rent again.
Avenge, avenge,
復讐する、報復する。
Avenge.
he vowed to avenge his brother's death.
彼は兄の死に報復することを誓った。
He vowed to avenge his brother's death.
Aversion, aversion,
嫌悪、避けたい感情。
Aversion.
she has a strong aversion to violence.
彼女は暴力に対して強い嫌悪感を持っている。
She has a strong aversion to violence.
Aviation, aviation,
航空、飛行術。
Aviation.
Aviation has revolutionized global travel.
航空の発達は世界の移動手段を一変させた。
Aviation has revolutionized global travel.
Avid. Avid.
熱心な、貪欲な。
Avid.
He is an avid reader of history books.
彼は歴史書の熱心な読者である。
He is an avid reader of history books.
Awe. Awe.
畏敬、恐れ。
Awe.
They looked at the mountains in awe.
彼らはその山々を畏敬の念を持って見つめた。
They looked at the mountains in awe.
Awry. Awry.
曲がって、誤って。
Awry.
Something went awry with the plan.
計画はどこかで狂ってしまった。
Something went awry with the plan.
Babble. Babble.
わけのわからないおしゃべりをする、ガヤガヤと話す。
Babble.
The baby began to babble happily.
赤ちゃんが嬉しそうに喃語を発し始めた。
The baby began to babble happily.
Backdrop. Backdrop.
背景、舞台背景。
Backdrop.
The mountains provided a stunning backdrop.
山々が壮大な背景を成していた。
The mountains provided a stunning backdrop.
Backlog. Backlog.
残務、未処理分。
Backlog.
The office has a backlog of paperwork.
事務所には書類の山が残っていた。
The office has a backlog of paperwork.
Baffle. Baffle.
困惑させる、理解できなくする。
Baffle.
The question baffled even the experts.
その質問は専門家さえも困惑させた。
The question baffled even the experts.
Bail. Bail.
保釈、救い出す。
Bail.
He was released on bail.
彼は保釈金を払って釈放された。
He was released on bail.
Bail out. Bail out.
救済する、保釈する。
Bail out.
The government bailed out the struggling bank.
政府は経営難の銀行を救済した。
The government bailed out the struggling bank.
Banal. Banal.
陳腐な、平凡な。
Banal.
The speech was full of banal clichés.
そのスピーチは陳腐な決まり文句ばかりだった。
The speech was full of banal clichés.
Bane. Bane.
災いのもと、悩みの種。
Bane.
Mosquitoes are the bane of summer.
蚊は夏の悩みの種である。
Mosquitoes are the bane of summer.
Bank on. Bank on.
お当てにする、頼りにする。
Bank on.
You can bank on her to get the job done.
その仕事は彼女に任せて大丈夫だよ。
You can bank on her to get the job done.
Banter. Banter.
軽口、冗談。
Banter.
They engaged in friendly banter.
彼らは友好的な冗談を交わした。
They engaged in friendly banter.
Barbaric. Barbaric.
野蛮な、残忍な。
Barbaric.
The punishment was considered barbaric.
その罰は野蛮だと考えられた。
The punishment was considered barbaric.
Barbarous. Barbarous.
野蛮な、残酷な。
Barbarous.
The barbarous treatment of prisoners was condemned worldwide.
囚人たちへの野蛮な扱いは世界中で非難された。
The barbarous treatment of prisoners was condemned worldwide.
Bargain on. Bargain on.
お予測する、見込む。
Bargain on.
We didn't bargain on such heavy traffic.
こんな渋滞になるとは思わなかった。
We didn't bargain on such heavy traffic.
Barge in. Barge in.
ずかずか入り込む。
Barge in.
He barged in without knocking.
彼はノックもせずにずかずか入ってきた。
He barged in without knocking.
Barge through. Barge through.
人混みなどを強引に通り抜ける。
Barge through.
She barged through the crowd to reach the stage.
彼女はステージに向かって群衆を押しのけて進んだ。
She barged through the crowd to reach the stage.
Barrage. Barrage.
連続砲撃、大量の。
Barrage.
The reporter faced a barrage of questions.
記者は質問の集中砲火を浴びた。
The reporter faced a barrage of questions.
Bash in. Bash in.
打ち壊す、叩き壊す。
Bash in.
They bashed in the door to rescue the child.
彼らは子供を救うためにドアを叩き壊した。
They bashed in the door to rescue the child.
Bask. Bask.
日光に当たる、浸る。
Bask.
The cat basked in the sunlight.
猫は日差しを浴びてのんびりしていた。
The cat basked in the sunlight.
Bastion. Bastion.
要塞、砦。
Bastion.
The fortress was a bastion of defense.
その要塞は防衛の砦だった。
The fortress was a bastion of defense.
Ball out. Ball out.
大声で叱る。
Ball out.
The coach bawled out the player for being late.
コーチは遅刻した選手を大声で叱った。
The coach bawled out the player for being late.
Bear with. Bear with.
我慢する、辛抱する。
Bear with.
Please bear with me while I explain.
説明中ですが少々お待ちください。
Please bear with me while I explain.
Bedraggle. Bedraggle.
びしょ濡れにする、汚す。
Bedraggle.
The rain bedraggled her dress.
雨で彼女のドレスがびしょ濡れになった。
The rain bedraggled her dress.
Beef up. Beef up.
強化する、補強する。
Beef up.
Security has been beefed up after the incident.
事件後、警備が強化された。
Security has been beefed up after the incident.
Begrudge. Begrudge.
妬む、しぶしぶ与える。
Begrudge.
He begrudged her success.
彼は彼女の成功を妬んだ。
He begrudged her success.
Beguile. Beguile.
魅了する、騙す。
Beguile.
She beguiled him with her charm.
彼女は魅力で彼を惑わせた。
She beguiled him with her charm.
Behold. Behold.
見る、見守る、見よ。
Behold.
Behold the beauty of the sunset.
夕日の美しさを見よ。
Behold the beauty of the sunset.
Beleaguer. Beleaguer.
困らせる、包囲する。
Beleaguer.
The company was beleaguered by lawsuits.
その企業は訴訟に悩まされていた。
The company was beleaguered by lawsuits.
Belie. Belie.
偽る、矛盾する。
Belie.
His calm face belied his anger.
彼の冷静な顔は怒りを隠していた。
His calm face belied his anger.
Belligerent. Belligerent.
交戦中の、好戦的な。
Belligerent.
Belligerent nations refused to negotiate.
交戦国は交渉を拒否した。
Belligerent nations refused to negotiate.
Bellow. Bellow.
怒鳴る、うなる。
Bellow.
He bellowed at the top of his lungs.
彼は大声で怒鳴った。
He bellowed at the top of his lungs.
Belly up to. Belly up to.
カウンターなどにピタリと近づく。
Belly up to.
He bellied up to the bar and ordered a drink.
彼はバーのカウンターにピタリと寄って注文した。
He bellied up to the bar and ordered a drink.
Bemoan. Bemoan.
嘆く、不満を言う。
Bemoan.
They bemoaned the lack of funding.
彼らは資金不足を嘆いた。
They bemoaned the lack of funding.
Bemusement. Bemusement.
困惑、当惑。
Bemusement.
He looked around in bemusement, unsure of what to do.
彼は何をすべきかわからず、困惑して周囲を見渡した。
He looked around in bemusement, unsure of what to do.
Beneficiary. Beneficiary.
受益者。
Beneficiary.
She was named the sole beneficiary in the will.
彼女は遺言で唯一の受益者に指名された。
She was named the sole beneficiary in the will.